giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Wake up. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by the Cochran Firm and Boston Scientific, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! I got a little energy today. I got a little pep in my step. It could be the coffee. I don't know. But today we're talking about the heavyweight fight. Cowboys defense against that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, and that Packers offense. We'll break it down later. Stick around for that. In the roundup, we just got injury updates. You know, some players are coming back for the Cowboys. Some player might not play on Sunday. A domino effect to that, but we'll talk about that as well. And then in the not the roundup, but after that, before we get into the breakdown of the Packers offense, Mike McCarthy spoke a little bit yesterday. Actually, he spoke fairly long yesterday, and he said a few interesting things I want to get into in the first word. Man, dude's smarter than we kind of probably give him credit for. But we'll listen to him in the first word, and we'll come out of that and jump right into this breakdown. It'll be a similar show as yesterday. We got a little bit prior to the meat potatoes, and we're jumping straight into it after the roundup. Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
If by Blue Chew, you mean coffee? Yes, Professor O. I am fired up. This is my second one already, Danny Savage. So I'm ahead of you. So if you want to call in, you can 351-999-3787. Talk about this Cowboys defense against this Packers offense. We're rounding into form. Yesterday, we discussed how the Cowboys offense can get after that Pack defense, and we'll flip it today, and we'll put it all together. And I think I'll be here tomorrow. I do think I'll be here. I don't want to do that to y'all. Last week, I was off on Friday. I will be off after Thanksgiving, so I don't want to be off 3 Fridays this month. So we'll be here tomorrow. We'll talk about it tomorrow. With that said, how y'all doing this morning, man? It's a good Thursday. Fast week. It's been a fast week. Here's the crazy thing. A long bye week, a fast week. Does that make sense? It's been a long bye week, but it's been a fast week to me. And maybe it's because I'm really excited, been looking into this game, and I'm just ready for it, man. This second half is important. We were sitting at this record last year, 6-2, I believe, at this spot, coming off of a bad loss to Denver. So from a record standpoint, the Cowboys are exactly where they were last year, but I do think there is an opportunity to be better than they were last year. And I think it has a lot to do with the adversity they went through early on. The adversity didn't kick in for the Cowboys till later after the bye week with the injuries and the play calling and all the offense was sputtering. I think they went through the adversity early, found out a way to deal with it, found an identity, and then they added their pieces back in healthy, and they're adding pieces back in healthy. I think they can go on a pretty solid run, man. I truly, truly do. And speaking of those receivers, in the roundup, you won't see me talking about Odell Beckham. I'll talk about it right here because once again, another Cowboys player brought up Odell Beckham, Ezekiel Elliott, and flat out, said, yeah, we want Odell. He said, we as in we've been talking in this locker room. Obviously, Micah has said something. Jerry, Michael Irvin. Did Jimmy Johnson say something this morning? I know he was talking about the Cowboys this morning. Mike McCarthy. They just keep on bringing them up. I don't know what else you want us to do as creators. They keep talking about them. We got to talk about them. But it's to the point now where we know. Dallas, y'all want them. So we'll see what happens, man. At the very least, it's been an entertaining week in regards to this Odell Beckham stuff. But I think it'll come to a head. If not this weekend, next week. Let's get into this roundup.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time. It's time.
It is time for
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Hey, yo. James Washington, honestly, at this point, what's the point? Looks like his activation window is going to be delayed another week, maybe. But this is what Mike McCarthy said yesterday. James is very, very close to being ready, but they're going to push back his activation window. Mind you, activation window doesn't mean he's going to be playing. Activation window means, okay, we've activated it. Now we got 3 more weeks to decide what we want to do with James. I don't mean to be pessimistic about the situation, but if they're delaying his activation, and then most likely they're going to have to see, a couple weeks of practice. We're talking about James Washington. What is it, week 10? We're talking about James Washington week 14, 15, maybe. It's a lost season, man, in my opinion. Unless he comes back, he doesn't go through 2 or 3 weeks of practice, of ramp up, and he goes right in there. I'm not looking at him really as an important addition, not even looking at him as a luxury addition. He's just a guy that's going to come back, and then I'll base my judgment off of what goes on from there, because this isn't like Michael Gallup. We said this before. James Washington he hasn't been with the team. One practice. He was injured in spring training camp, mini camp, then got injured in training camp on the first day. So it's hard for me to be really optimistic about James Washington returning. You could, me and Professor O were trying to spin this thing to look at it as an Odell Beckham situation. But then Todd Archer had a very good tweet where he was like, this could have a lot to do with them playing X amount of games in a short time span, because, the Cowboys play on Thursday with when I say Thursday, I mean Thanksgiving. So maybe they're just trying to get around that. But I look at it this way. If he was truly healthy, truly ready, they wouldn't continue to push this thing back, man. So, he's still very, very close. Whatever that means, 10 weeks into the season. He is what he is at this point. Not even a luxury. But a guy who is coming back and who is not going to have to go through any 21-day window is Terrell Basham. They activated him off IR, and not IR. They activated him within that window, and he's ready to go. He's back on a 53-man roster, and we'll get him for this A-Rod matchup. Well, hey, I said this yesterday on multiple shows here, on Vaches, and on our Cowboys 4th and Long, which the audio should be out here in a second. Today, I mean. Waves of pass rushers at Aaron Rodgers is going to be important this week. And you get 2 more guys when that offensive line may be going through some things where your defense line, somebody may need a blow. In comes Sam Williams. In comes Terrell Basham. Next thing you know, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler. Respect to the Lions defense, who did something at the bye week. We made fun the other day, but they did something at the bye week to where their defense is getting a little bit better. But they ain't got these kind of pass rushers that can just come at you in waves. And not saying that they were just sacking Aaron Rodgers all over the field. That's not the case, but I just think this defensive line has a potential to give him a lot of trouble. And the more the merrier. Bring them all in. Bring them all in. And then finally, that injury report where I mentioned Sam Williams, he's back. He's back full. The injury report looks great, to be honest with you. There's just 2 concerning names on there and participation that I got to keep my eye on this week. One, Anthony Barr. Flat out, they asked Coach Mike McCarthy about Anthony Barr. Said, nope, he's not going to be doing anything today. Real fast, we'll see how he looks in warm-ups. Nope, just not playing, not practicing. Okay. We'll see about Thursday. Thursday's a big day to me. Friday's the biggest. If Anthony Barr doesn't practice today or is limited today, it's a hamstring injury. He's on the other side of 30. I would probably continue to rest him, which means what? More Damone Clark. And I don't think they can deny Damone Clark anymore after, the game that he had, which, again, it wasn't like it was some amazing game, but there were some good things on tape. So I think you're going to get Damone Clark this week regardless. But if he's still dealing with the hamstring, you're definitely going to get Damone Clark. Maybe more Damone Clark than last week. I wonder, though, will you see Jabril Cox? Not necessarily playing a ton of snaps. But if Anthony Barr is inactive, right, they decide to rest him, you're obviously going to call up another linebacker, and I imagine that will be Jabril Cox. He's done this year. He's been on special teams and whatnot. Hasn't really played any snaps defensively. But I just wonder if they get into a pass defensive package where they're more comfortable with Jabril Cox out there than an LVE or Damone Clark, what happens? Do they want to roll him out there or not? If you had to ask me right now, I would say probably not unless there's an injury. And given the fact that, again, LVE is just trusted and he hasn't been bad in pass coverage. I think he's, been where he needs to be in pass coverage. And then Damone Clark just has the athleticism, and you kind of want to get him more acclimated. Whereas Jabril does have the natural instincts as a pass coverage guy. But I wonder, just something to keep an eye on. Definitely when you saw Donovan Wilson go down last week, you saw J-Ron Curse go down last week. And, we all talk about how Jabril can do some of those big nickel type of things from the linebacker position. I think he'll be called up if needed, to. Will he play, though? Will he play? And then the other injury that kind of has me rolling my eyes, man, is Noah Brown. I don't like hamstrings and I don't like foots. Not Cowboys Nation TV, but I don't like foot injuries on wide receivers. We're at what? 2 and some change, almost 3 weeks removed from his foot injury when you include the bye week and this week, and he's still limited. James Washington's still dealing with his foot. He's very, very close. I'm not comfortable with the room. Call me pessimistic, call me whatever you want. It's a razor thin room, and regardless of what happens with Odell Beckham, this room always needed another guy. It just did. And once Noah got hurt, and you saw how the Cowboys had to counter that, which was great, right? That was awesome to roll out the 3 tight ends like that. But in reality, you're not going to roll out the 3 tight ends for 40 snaps again. I'm not saying they did that for 40 snaps, but you're most likely going to have to do a lot of 11 personnel things. And if teams catch on that you're not doing anything with this Jalen Tolbert 11 personnel, they'll adapt. And then it'll come to a time where you have to adapt. So I'm just not comfortable with that wide receiver room. I don't know how long this Noah Brown injury is going to linger. We'll see if he returns this week, how he looks. I told y'all how I feel about James Washington. Jalen Tolbert looks like a lost cause for this season, And that's pretty much it. They're not using Kevontae Turpin as a true wide receiver. So it is a room that you just got to hope that the injury luck kind of gets back on your side and stays with you, because you're now looking at not just if one of your top guys go down, forget the top guys, just your third guy. No, Brown goes down. You had to change your whole damn offense for Noah Brown. It's crazy. And that, Cowboys Nation, is the morning roundup. As soon as I look over, all due respect to James Washington, but he ain't no Odell. No. Me and Jesse had a very good conversation on Odell yesterday. I'm not going to give it all away, you got to go and listen to the podcast. Cowboys 4th and Long. But to say the least, he's not for bringing in Odell Beckham. But you got to hear his reasonings. I would 100% welcome Odell Beckham over James. I mean, James is going to be here. Maybe he comes in and he goes hard, but I ain't going to lie to y'all. I'm being real. We family. I'm keeping it being. My sentiment on James Washington has literally flipped. From the time he was signed, I was like, oh, yeah, man, I think he could be a nice little 3. You know, him and Tolbert maybe, but now we see with Tolbert, he would have definitely been your 3, 4 with Noah Brown. To now, it's like, all right, whatever you get from James Washington is a bonus. Unfortunately. I agree as well. Mark said, where's the podcast? It's on Apple, Spotify, Google. It's on all those podcasts. You just type in Cowboys for the long. Matter of fact, I think you got to type in A to Z Sports Dallas Podcast Network. It's A to Z. It ain't make it easy on you. But I'll find the link. I'll try to post it in here somewhere. I got you, man. I got you. Yeah, Professor O, he doesn't either, man. He doesn't either. Looks like we already got a caller. So this is what I'm going to do, caller. Hold tight. I want to get into this first word real quick with Mike McCarthy, who spoke on. He said something I thought was pretty cool. He always talks about these little nuggets, these little cool little information nuggets that he likes to give to the media, to the reporters and whatnot. And he also talked about why there's been a turnaround from explosive plays. And they asked Joe Witt Jr. about it. And Joe Witt went into a little bit more detail, but Mike McCarthy also talked about it as well. So here's the first word.
Being a team that plays, most of your games inside, and obviously the weather here is nothing like it's going to be in Green Bay. Do you do anything different? Is there anything you can do to get your team prepared for that?
I'll tell you, I always try to have a fun fact or two for the guys each week. And, if you look at the part of the country where our roster, as far as where our players come from and compared to, where Green Bay players come from, they actually have more players, from the South than we do. So I think we have more players from the upper Midwest, the northern type states. So, the only point I was making is this is going to be a fun environment, Big Ten type football. And, they're tired of hearing me talk about the right shoes to wear and so forth and the expectations of what the grass is going to be like. And, so they got the full talk, dew point, the moisture in the air. So it's they'll be ready to go. So
explosive pass plays allowed down for you guys?
Well, it's definitely was a focal point. I mean, I don't know if there was ever a meeting that Joe Witt didn't bring it up as far as, just emphasis and as far as our correction and, it changes emphasize and approach it, when we're in the eval process. So, I think so much of this game, you get what you emphasize. You also get what you tolerate, but you get what you emphasize, and I think that's a huge challenge. Because obviously I've been in this league a long time, and you have less time with your players, you have less time to do these types of things, but you can only spend so much time in certain areas, and we obviously have spent a lot of time emphasizing that, and I think our players are doing a good job staying on top of it.
I like that he said you get what you emphasize. And you hear, if you listen to Mike McCarthy's post-game press conferences, sometimes you'll hear him say, yeah, we emphasize XYZ this week, and they went out and they performed well, whether it be red zone, whether it be third down, which wasn't a whole lot of third down, but they did correct that, whether it be whatever it is. And a lot of the times talking with Jesse and other people, it's like, as fans, we forget, man, that when it's game week, they literally can't work on everything. You do have to compartmentalize. The time to work on everything is in preseason, is in training camp and things like that. And Joe Witt talked about how last year, at about the midway point or so, they had this exercise where they would go in and they would have this communication exercise about why we're giving up this big play. And let's talk it out, and then we'll go on a practice field and work on it. And I think ever since then, they've been continuing to emphasize that meeting, and you are seeing the results, right? Like, there hasn't been a whole lot of big plays, and sometimes we get frustrated with the off coverage, And one of the things we talked about with that frustration is we're going to give up that 10-yard reception, that 12-yard reception, or that 6-yard reception, missed the tackle, and now it turns into 12 yards. If they start tackling a little bit better out of this zone, and I'm talking about ABS, it's already hard to throw on Dallas because of the pass rush, because I do think they have a good secondary, contrary to popular belief. But if they start being able to be more physical, something that we mentioned in the Cincinnati game, be physical with these guys at the catch point and prior to the catch point. I mean, it's not as if you're going to run into a bunch of passing teams, but that one that got you on the road in PA, they run, but they got wide receivers. And I just think, man, if the Dallas Cowboys tighten that aspect up, it's going to be tough for them. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not naming them. I'm not giving them no attention. Y'all know what I'm talking about. 817, hold tight, man. We'll get to you here in a second. You are the first caller on the Pulse of the Nation hotline presented by the Cochran Firm. Listen, if you get into any accidents out there in Dallas, because there are a ton that happen. In fact, I only see police around here on the highways. But if you do get into that fender bender, these are the guys you want to hit up. Larry and Brian down at the Cochran Firm have been protecting and serving the DFW area community since 2005. They handle all of their civil cases on a contingent fee basis, meaning if there's no financial recovery, then they charge what? No fee. So contact the Cochran Firm at 1-800-THE-FIRM or schedule a free consultation today at CochranTexas.com. What's up, 817? What it is, what it do?
Hey, good morning, Sky. This is Case of Beer. I called
Case of Beer.
You invited Joe on the volume.
What's up, Case of Beer?
Probably a month or so back.
I remember because the name was unique.
Yeah, it was a good call, too. It was a good time. But, yeah, I appreciate y'all's content, man. I listen to both of y'all every day. Just wanted to call in and wish all the Marines out there a happy birthday.
Yeah.
It's our birthday here, 247 years.
Happy Veterans Day, man. And my father is also a veteran, so, you know, I completely understand the sacrifices that you guys go through, and we absolutely appreciate your services.
Appreciate it, man. It's going to be a good game this weekend.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be Big Ten football. You heard what Coach said.
There we go. Well, you have a good rest of the morning, man.
Thank you, brother. Indeed, man. That is for all of our veterans out there. Past, present, current, future. Appreciate you guys. But that's something that I wrote down here. Big Ten type of football is what McCarthy said. Well, we're about to break down this Packers offense. But who do you think that favors? The team who is running the ball the way the Cowboys are? Packers can run the ball. Or the team who passes the ball the 10th most in the NFL? The team whose defense is regarded as one of the best? Or the team whose defense is reeling a little bit? Just saying. Just keep that in mind. Deshaun, what's up, man?
What up? Well, first off, I want to start off. Listen to the podcast today. That stuff was hilarious, Scott. You went off on him. That was too funny.
Not my best moment, but y'all seem to like it. I didn't.
All right, so yeah, I'm expecting it to be Big Ten football. I know people want us to kind of blow them out, but I'm more kind of like expecting it to be like a run down, dirty, grimy type of game where it's like you're going to be forced to tackle, you're going to be forced to like really like, make tackles. Me personally, I feel like the person that's going to be the hardest to tackle is Dylan because he's so damn big.
It's a big boy.
And his like the Aaron Jones and Dylan, that's if Aaron Jones is playing. The Aaron Jones and like Dylan thing, because I'm going to be real with you, they're not going to want Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball. Like the way he's been looking.
But here's the problem with that, Deshaun. They may not want Matt LaFleur may not want to throw the ball around the park. But who you think got more juice? Matt LaFleur or Aaron Rodgers? right? Like Aaron Rodgers might, and again, we're just talking right now. We're just speculating. The game plan should absolutely be run the ball, set up the play action, which they'll do that. They'll start off that way, but can he remain disciplined? Can he stay on track, or is he like, I got something to prove, man? I'm trying to beat Mike McCarthy. I'm going to go rogue or whatever it is. I don't know what their game plans are from week to week, but when I look at the discrepancy of pass attempts to rushing attempts, and I look at their roster, it doesn't make any sense. They run the ball 19th or 20th most in the league, and they pass the ball the 10th most in the league. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Crazy. And then me personally, I think Micah's licking his chops. So Judon got 12 sacks. Micah's got 8. So,
yeah.
Mike, he's trying to come after him. So, but that's pretty much all I got for you done today, son.
All right. Appreciate you, Tom.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
He brought up Big AJ Dillon. Let's go ahead and get to talking about this Packers offense real quick. It is an offense that is unrecognizable, if we're being completely honest. I'm trying to think here. I think this is the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career he didn't have a guy out there, like one of them ones out there, or one of the top 10-ish receivers out there. And I think you're seeing that reflected in their offensive performance. 17 points per game, 27th in the NFL. Devontae Adams points per game. The big play hasn't really been there as much. And Mike McCarthy talked about that. That big play ability stopping that. That don't mean Aaron Rodgers ain't going to try it, but it hasn't been there. His 7 interceptions, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, his 7 interceptions in 8 games are the most he's thrown since 2016. 9 games, my apologies. 9 games. He has the most interceptions since 2016. Okay. With that said, he's still A-Rod. He still can make some of those throws on you and whatnot. And they do have some guys you got to deal with. Now, David Bakhtiari, one of the best tackles in the league. He's been dinged up for years now. In and out, snip, snap. He's their version of Tyron Smith. When healthy, one of the best. When not, he's not playing. Allen Lazard is their number one. I actually have a lot of respect for Allen Lazard. He very similar trajectory, and don't throw tomatoes at me, to Devontae Adams, meaning it took Devontae Adams about 3 or 4 years to kick in and get the trust of Aaron Rodgers and become one of those guys that Aaron goes to. Lazard was behind a bunch of dudes early on and kind of looked like I don't call it a flop, but it's just another guy. And now he's actually a respectable wide receiver in the sense of Aaron Rodgers trusts him. He'll throw it up to him, and we'll talk about him a little bit later. But he's his number one wide receiver. The most targeted and most receptions, though, is Tunyon. But this offense, to me, as crazy as this sounds, starts with those guys in the middle. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. For whatever reason, this team needs to lean on the run game, and they don't. I don't know why, Cowboys Nation. It ain't my problem, but they don't. Like I said before, they elect to run the ball the 19th most in the league and pass the ball the 10th most in the league. Now, I don't care if you got Aaron Rodgers. Sometimes your roster dictates what you need to do. And Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon is a top 5 running back duo in the league, period. And their offensive line is no bad offensive line. I think it's pretty solid. But Jones, who's dealing with a bunch of things right now, left the game in a boot, was limited yesterday. We'll see if he plays, but I have a feeling he's going to try to play. He has 600 yards right now and 5.6 yards per carry, which is tied for 6th in the NFL. Aaron Jones, we know Aaron Jones. We're familiar with Aaron Jones. He's a problem. He's one of the toughest slashing running backs in the NFL. And he's not like some puny little back, scat back. No. He's tough. And he's good. He make you miss. He can score. Knows that offense. Aaron Rodgers trusts him. He's actually their second most targeted pass catcher on the team. I think he's second on the team in catches in general. And A.J. Dillon is the big body, big, tough, 250-pound running back. So you got to be ready for those dudes. You just do. And with this weather, I think they'll lean on this running game, or they should lean on this running game. But if they don't, you got to get ready for the pack to try to do it with Aaron Rodgers, who, as you saw right there, can still scramble or whatnot for first downs. But if A.J. Dillon is the guy, he's been the guy on this team, I think, twice this year. 17 carries one game, 18 carries another game. They do a lot of 21 personnel things with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Rodgers. Some orbit motion stuff. They'll get the guard and the center pulling one way, use Dillon as a third blocker. I mean, he's 250 pounds, and that's the least he could do. And so we got to be ready for that, right? The edge containment has to be there. Our linebackers, once again, asking our linebackers to fill and be aggressive and come downhill and make plays. We can't catch because, they run that attack that the Cowboys usually have some trouble with. But if you're able to crowd that run game, man, you put the game in Aaron Rodgers' hands. And I know that sounds like, what? Why would you want to? It's just not the same. This isn't the Packers offense of yesteryear. Do I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play as bad as he played in Detroit in regards to these interceptions? No, I don't think that. But I also don't think he has enough weapons on the outside to combat this pass rush and the Cowboys coverage on a consistent basis. So he's going to have to pick his spots. Now, when you look at the numbers surrounding A-Rod, very pedestrian, to be honest with you. Even when he's kept clean, he's in the bottom of the league, really. 21st in the NFL in completion percentage. But when he's pressured, is a staggering drop. And I think we talked about this with Professor Raw. I think he said when he was blitzed, but when he's pressured, it drops to 45%, which is 29th in the league. So you really don't even got a blitz to do. You just got a pressuring. And I think we do have the front to be able to do that. We do have the scheme to be able to do that. We have the individual players to be able to do that. You just got to cover on the back end because A-Rod going to try to get it to you. And for a team, again, who runs the ball, I think, really well, they don't run play action very well either. He's 27th in the NFL completion percentage and 29th in ADOT. So it's just a weird looking offense for the Packers. It's not the same Packers offense of yesteryear. And I feel a lot more confident than maybe in years past going up against it. With all of that said, though, you do have to worry about a few things. One of them being that RPO. Not read option. RPO. Run, pass, option. They're going to try to do it with Lazard on the backside most of the time because he's a big body wide receiver. Nobody really has a throwing motion as fluid as A-Rod. So, he can pull it and throw it all in one motion. So, Diggs or whomever it is on that backside has got to be ready. I would like to see these corners be more physical because I don't think they have the weapons from a speed standpoint for you to fear. And get ready for the contested balls, Cowboys Nation. Get ready. Like you just saw a few there in that montage. They're going to go to Allen Lazard a bunch in regards to contested balls. His 14 contested targets are 6th in the NFL. And why wouldn't you? He's 6'5", 227 pounds. He's a big body receiver that can go up and get it. And they'll do a slot fade to Allen Lazard too. And I don't know that anybody throws a slot fade better than Aaron Rodgers, or the back shoulder fade for that matter, better than Aaron Rodgers. So as confident as I am going up against this offense, you still have to bring it because he's going to challenge you. And you have to make him pay for some of those, what I call arrogant throws, something we talked about yesterday on the podcast. Aaron Rodgers is one of the most arrogant passers in the NFL. And I don't mean that from a discount, double check, first down, talking trash. No. I mean from I'm so confident in my arm and my ability to throw it and fit it right here that I'm going to take a handful of arrogant throws and shots throughout the game. Usually he's right with Devontae Adams and whatnot. Allen Lazard, you saw a couple of those passes were right on the money. But then there's some times you saw in the Detroit game where he tries those arrogant throws where he doesn't even look. I mean, he's pulling it and he's just throwing it. Or he's off target like the third interception in that game. You got to make him pay because you don't want to pay for not making him pay. Meaning you're giving them an extra chance, another down. And if there's one team that knows about giving Aaron Rodgers an extra down, an extra series, another chance, it is this team. I hate to do this to y'all. Jeff Heath had an opportunity to strip sack Aaron Rodgers. Didn't do it. The result, Aaron Rodgers goes down, not even down the field, but Aaron Rodgers makes the play of the postseason. 3rd and 20. First down. The rest is history. So make Aaron Rodgers pay for those arrogant throws, or he has a potential to do so, especially if it's in a close game. So there it is, Cowboys Nation. Packers offense, not the same. Doesn't put that same amount of fear in you as it used to. But like every week, you got to bring your A game. All right, let's get to Reem. We got Kareem from Delaware. What's goody, man?
What's up, Scott?
What up with you?
Ain't nothing, man. Report card time at work, man. So I got the day off.
Hey.
I just wanted to I wanted to make 2 little short comments real quick, and the second one I'll let you respond after I hang up. The first comment is, even though Green Bay are struggling, like you just kind of mentioned, Aaron Rodgers can still be Aaron Rodgers and just bust out with one of those 3-4 touchdown games. I would really like to see the Cowboys get up for this game.
Yeah.
Defensively, I would really like to see them get up for this game. And offensively, I want Dak to kind of stay within himself. I don't want him to get into one of those, Aaron Rodgers threw 3 touchdowns, I'm going to throw 3 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers got 40 passes, I'm going to throw 41 passes and complete 40 of them. Like, I don't want it to be one of those kind of games. And do what we've been doing to win.
Yeah, I actually feel confident that we'll stay in that. I mean, until proven otherwise, the Cowboys have remained balanced. Dak has shown me the last 2 games that, he's willing to remain balanced, and also shown me that if he needs to make one of them throws, he can do that.
All right, good. That's my guy. I was happy that we was able to when Dak wasn't in, but I'm more excited that he's back because Dak is my guy. There was no controversy with me with the quarterback position.
Absolutely.
Whatsoever. All right, and my second comment is, and I'm going to hang up after this, I love listening to you talk, man. I love that you keep it real. I love that you don't rainbows and none of that. Just keep it real and give great content. I really appreciate your show.
Man, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I try my best. Sometimes my emotions get the best of me, though.
I love it, though. Yeah, and my second comment is, despite the Cowboys not making those splashy moves, not doing what the fans kind of want them to do or the media kind of predict they should do, they still have a chance to make one splashy move to push into the playoffs, and that's with OBJ coming into this wide receiving core just for a push for the playoffs. Could you imagine, even if we can get 60-70% of OBJ matched up with CeeDee Lamb and as Gallup continue to get healthy? I just want to know what you think about that as far as the Cowboys not making the splashy moves, but always seem to be the team that can still make a move right at the end when nobody else really could, though. As everybody else jumps out and signs big-name players and all that type of stuff, but the Cowboys stay fast and still able to make a move this late in the season.
So they have a chance, man. But the Cowboys' MO, their identity is to, I hate to use this term because everyone hates it, but we like our guys. That's their MO, and part of it is, man, you're here, you're 6-2, you still have a team to compete and win a championship. But I always say the more talent, the better. Give me all the damn talent. And this is one of those situations where you don't have to give up the gold, sucker. And I'm talking about the draft picks.
the draft pick.
You ain't
right.
got to give up the draft pick. So I tell you what, I still, the pessimistic part of me in regards to the talent acquisition free agency is still don't think this is going to happen. But
yeah, me too, kind of. I just feel like it's just too good to be true. It's been too much talking about it. Normally when the Cowboys make a move like that, they don't talk about it a lot.
There you go. But if it does happen, though, I do think for me, y'all know how I feel about Steven in the front office and all that stuff. For me, it would definitely give me some confidence. It'd be a confidence builder moving forward. I'm not saying it'll completely flip it. I'm like, oh, the front office is the greatest in the world. But I'd be like, okay, maybe you are looking around the league and understanding and trying to adjust, et cetera, if they were to make that move. So I just want to throw that in there.
I agree. Great show, Scott. Keep doing your thing, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate you. Go Cowboys.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's Cowboys MO. You know, I don't expect it to happen, but boy, would I be happy if it did. Is it one of those moves where it's an over the top move? We talked about this the other day. We can't view it that. Over the top move. I don't think you can view it that way. And it's a savior move is what I was actually trying to get at. Is it a savior move? No. No, it's just one of those moves that can help you, can elevate, add depth, add talent, whatever it may be. That's what it should be looked at. And then if you are looking at it for a future standpoint from beyond this year, I think it could. I honestly think, I know it's going to sound weird because you're looking for now. I actually think next year, whatever happens this year, I don't think you're going to get peak Odell. Next year, different story. I looked over to the chat. D Shift said, what's up with the Green Bay running game? Why hasn't that duo seemed as dominant as some Hunt and Chubb-ish? Earlier, I'm not sure if he was in here, D Shift. Earlier, I mentioned the discrepancy of rush attempts to pass attempts, which seems crazy to me that they would have this massive gap. But they rushed the ball bottom third in the league just about. And they passed the ball top 10 in the league. I'd imagine Cleveland probably runs the ball at a much higher rate. And I could look at it here in a second, but I would say that's really the only difference. I mean, I think Chubb is one of the best running backs in the league. I mean, I also think Aaron Jones is one too. But I think Dylan and Aaron Jones, top 5 duo, right? I would imagine that'd be a top 5 duo. They ain't my top 5. Rush attempts per game. Yeah, Cleveland is 4th in the NFL in rush attempts per game. Green Bay, 19th. So I think that's really your biggest discrepancy in regards to why they don't look like Cleveland. Well, one, Cleveland's run game, Bill Callahan. But I still think the Packers have a really good run scheme. I watched some things on there, and once again, I came away like, Kellen Moore, you might want to steal some of that. I like some of the things they did in their run game. But yeah, that'd be my answer. That'd be my answer. King Element. Aaron Jones is, again, 5.6 yards per clip. Banged up. Aaron Jones playing good ball. You know, any second leading, pass catcher on the team. It's just he's a banged up dude. That is an interesting, chaotic neutral. I like that. Oh, there go D Shift. Let's talk about it, D Shift. Did you get that?
Hey, it was good. Get what?
My answer. Probably missed it.
Man, I was actually flipping through something else. Yeah.
It's all good. I'll be quick.
What was your answer? What was
I said I think the reason why they're not dominant like those guys are right now is because of discrepancy in attempts. The Packers are 19th in the NFL in rush attempts, and Cleveland is 4th in the league. For whatever reason, the Packers elect to throw the ball top 10 most in the league. I don't know why. I think their bread is buttered running the rock this year. So I think that would be the main reason why they're not, quote unquote, dominant as Cleveland. But I do think they are as talented.
Yeah, I also noticed they rank at the bottom for rushing touchdowns as well.
Yeah, Aaron has 3, I think, and then I think Dylan has 1.
Okay, so they're not too hot as a red zone team. So
Nope.
I don't want our defensive, especially our run defense. I don't want those woes to kind of be the formula for them, you know.
Yep.
And just the medicine that they need as an offense to kind
Mm-hmm.
of get a light bulb. Because I mean, Aaron Rodgers really isn't. He's kind of top 10 in some passing metrics. Just throwing a lot of interceptions, I guess. Even with that Lions game, I was listening to Brian Broaddus and how he talked about how the offense looked good, but once they got to the red zone, you got 2 red zone turnovers, and then you give it back right after, you know, your defense takes it away from the Lions. You know, that's kind of just a little bit uncharacteristic. I mean,
It's
give Aaron
definitely
Rodgers-
uncharacteristic, brother. He don't turn the ball over down there. It was crazy.
Yeah. So honestly, he's not doing too bad with the cast that he has, but just for some reason, they're not taking advantage of the running back, and they're not basically, you know, giving them the ball so they can kind of help out in that red zone. That's where it's obviously that they're seeing the struggle. You know, I can see 3-4 games into the season, and you know, you're statistically ranked like that. But you know, we're 8-9, we're halfway into this, so
Yep.
this is kind of your DNA at this point, you know.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
if I was a Packer fan, I'd be scratching my head why we're not leaning on these guys more, especially since you're struggling in the red zone. I put up the graphic there. The last 3 games, they're last in the NFL in red zone percentage. And if you do the whole season, I think they're 20-something. So they're at the bottom of the league in red zone. And I think they could, you know, help themselves out by giving the rock to Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. But, again, that's their problem. And we just can't we can't be there. What's the word? Elixir? Is that what I'm looking for here? You know, we can't be.
That's what it's like.
Yeah, we can't be that
team.
team.
I don't say tend to be sometimes, but it's just it's like the perfect storm kind of brewing. You know, like you know, teams have been running on us. You know, they're struggling offensively in the red zone. So if that light bulb hit, you know, I guess it's good that Aaron Jones is kind of empty. Even if he plays, you know, that's you know, I got to see it. But
I agree.
either way, I respect what they, you know, we talked about their running game being one that you definitely wanted to look out for. They're just not using it for some reason. So I'll sit back and listen, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate you. He also said he's doing a respectable job with the cast that he has, something along those lines, which is in a way true. I mean, it's not like he got a bunch of dudes around him. Sammy Watkins, been in and out. Randall Cobb is on IR. Romeo Doubs, though, if Romeo was playing, I would have been nice to watch him. He's a young receiver that's coming along, but he's out. Alan Lazard's been in and out. It's just not. It's a let's be honest, a ragtag group out there he's throwing to. But I feel like they need to be more. I know it's gonna sound crazy. More like how the Lions were early in the season, where we're down, we're still running. How the Bears were, we're down, we're still running. How I see Philly, we're struggling, but we're gonna run and then take advantage of it with play action type of situation. That's your bread is butter with these dudes right here. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. It's one of those things that we asked the Cowboys to do last year. If you're not out of it, if you're not fourth quarter down 3, that's a different story. You're in the second quarter, you're down 3, 7 points, 10 points. You don't give up on the run. Now that's where your bread has been buttered. But see, you got Aaron Rodgers. And that's where we'd spin this block earlier. I think it was Deshaun who said something along the lines of those guys, sticking with it. I said, yeah, maybe LaFleur wants to. But Aaron Rodgers is an arrogant quarterback, and I get it. He the man. He's a bad man. Super Bowl champion, one of the greatest that we've ever seen. He's confident in his ability. I don't watch the Packers games as intently as the Cowboys game, so I can't really give you the feel of each game. But I venture to guess if they felt like they were losing in a game or the momentum wasn't there and it was still a game, I venture to guess that they probably leaned on Aaron Rodgers. They probably threw the ball around a bit, as opposed to matriculating down the field with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I'm just guessing. I haven't watched them intently. Maybe we got a Packer fan in here who can confirm or deny that. (910) What's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Queen?
Can you hear me good?
I can hear you much better than before.
Oh, okay. So, I hope we get OBJ. I really do.
Okay.
It would help the receiving core so much better. It would add more depth to the receiving core. Maybe CD can get some of that what do you call it? A or B. Maybe he can get some of that A from Odell Beckham.
Some of that.
And what you say?
I was trying to think of what you meant. Some of that A?
Yeah. You know how you have the oh my God, I can't believe it. I had it in my head the whole time. A or B in your nature, your persona.
Like the alpha mentality?
Yeah.
Oh, type A personality?
Alpha. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe he can get some of that from Odell. Thank you so much.
Gotcha.
I appreciate that.
Gotcha.
And all I want them to do is go to Green Bay, and every time they see somebody from Green Bay, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. They need to play them like they play the Philadelphia Eagles. That's how they need to play them. And every time Aaron Rodgers raise his hand up, somebody need to bust him in the ass. And that's all I got.
I feel you, Queen. So let me try to guess what you mean by going up there playing like it's Philly. Go up there kind of personal. Take it personal because of, in Philly it's personal. It's a division rival. It's Philly. We hate them. We should feel the same way about the Packers because of what the Packers have done to the Cowboys for the last 10 years.
Exactly. And for Mike McCarthy. Go up there and bust them in the ass. I don't care who limping or whatever. Them motherfuckers need their ass kicked.
Woo-hoo. See, you got kids, don't you?
They grown.
I know, but I say that because you know what that sound like? That sound like you cussed out your kid. He did something bad. He gonna get home. He gonna whoop their ass. I know how that sound coming from a mom. That's why I said that.
Oh, oof. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. They had it coming. They got it coming.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then, Sky.
I appreciate you, Miss Queen.
How about them Cowboys?
How about them? Need to go up there to Green Bay and what she say? Kick their ass. No, whoop their ass. That's how I know she got kids. Come up there to school. We had that conversation on here. Mom, I know she's listening. I can't deal with y'all, man. Y'all know what she meant. Type A personality, alpha mentality. I got you, Queen. Y'all something else. Flag gonna play. Yo, let's get Glenn, man. Or 215, not Glenn. I always do that. Philly in the building. What's goody?
What's up? What's up, Will?
I always do that because I see the damn thing.
I can't see the chat, but I know they're going off
man,
right now.
They going the hell off, dog.
Queen, we love you, Queen. We love you. I know Queen took her son. If her son ever got bullied, I know she took her son down the street and said, "Whip his ass."
Yes.
And don't come home until you finish.
They called Queen at school. They said your mama want to talk to you, and I'm gonna whoop your ass when you get home. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got a little scared. I had some flashbacks a little bit.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. You could probably hear I got a little cold, and she made my day. Oh my God! I was in Houston last week at the game. Only Cowboys fan on a family trip, so you know how that was. And
okay, you went to the Texans game, Philly, Texas.
Yeah. That was the first time I've been at a game where one team is playing like both cities are playing one another, each other, and it was crazy, Sky. You hearing the boos and you hear the yays because they're showing the Astros game. It was so seesawed up and down. It was crazy because Texans was in it for a little bit. They had the Sheagles nervous.
Yeah.
But they by the time the football game was over, they were still showing the Houston game out in the parking lot while we were waiting for Ubers, and on the screen, so you hear the roar. It was a crazy atmosphere, crazy. But got back to Philly safe, and as long as the Astros won, because I'm a Dodgers fan too. I'm a Sixers fan, Cowboys fan, Dodger fan. So Sixers is the only Philly team I root for. But it was a great week. It was a great week. But I just want to touch on a few points. Oh my God, I can't stop it with Queen. First of all, where did you get that hoodie from that you wore yesterday? I like that.
A company called, I think it's BYLT. They have really BYLT, man. I wear a lot of their stuff low key. And they got a lot of they got a lot of good stuff that I fool with.
Is that the company that they just basically do athleisure wear?
They do athleisure wear, but it's not just athleisure wear, no.
Okay, BLT.
BYLT.
All right, cool. BYLT. I'll write that down.
I believe it.
All right, real quick, couple of points. I hope when I was a little
basics, yeah,
taken back with the
BYLT basics. My bad. Go ahead.
All right, BYLT basics. All right, cool. The overemphasizing or emphasizing on plays, hearing and learning that they don't have a lot of time with the players like they used to back in the day. I think it's quite evident that we haven't, or especially early in the season, wasn't emphasizing on the in the red zone. I think if anything that you should overemphasize or emphasize the red zone package and short yardage package every week. I think red zone should be like the back of the hand. Short yardage should be like the back of your hand. There's certain teams that when they're in the red zone, I don't want to mention them, but we all know they're from here. They're from Philly. They just got their red zone down pat. What do you think about that? I think that that's something that they definitely need to go into week after week after week to overemphasize red zone and short yardage. What's your thoughts on that?
I believe they do. I want to say, and I can't remember the exact day, but I think Friday, if I'm not mistaken, is their red zone day. Either today or Friday is their red zone day. And Dallas has improved in the red zone.
Yeah,
they're top 10 in the red zone. And I think the Lions game you saw with Dak back, you saw them incorporate a few more packages. And then in the Bears game, you saw now we're going to use Dak's legs down there. So they're adding on top of their red zone game down there. And they're top 10 in conversions.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Like I said earlier, they were struggling. I did see a little bit of improvement, but I'm glad to hear that they do that. I would like to see more short yardage too. That should be a no-brainer with us. We should be able to get third and ones, and I'm not just saying pound it. We should get third and ones at least 80% of the time if you're creative enough, if not 90% of the time. But before I get off, I want to address something I saw in Houston. But before that, I'm glad that the game is on the road. Everybody know that when teams play Dallas, it's their Super Bowl, especially if they're almost out of the playoffs.
100%.
And I don't care what Rodgers has been doing all year long. He is going to come out Sunday, and he's going to play this game like it's his personal Super Bowl. Those players, all of a sudden, everybody's going to be on point. They're going to be focused. Everybody's going to play their A game, so we got to play our triple A game. You see Fournette, he killed us the first week. You ain't seen really much out of him all week.
He's been quiet ever since, yeah.
Quiet ever since. The wide receiver Goodwin or whatever, he playing every other 10 snaps. Julio Jones, he's playing every 20 snaps. All these guys played and balled out game one. Now they're like missing. It's just amazes me. So we got to play our triple A game, and I'm glad it's on the road because now at home I think we get comfortable. We read the clippings. We start smelling ourselves. And we kind of relax at away. I think we can, they're against our backs, and I'm glad that it's a road trip and not a home trip. What's your thoughts on that? And I want to bring up a Houston thing before I hang up.
I'm actually going to add on a little bit to that. Yes, being on the road should add a little bit more focus. Also, the Cowboys are playing catch up this year, and for the first time in the division, being a 6-2 team or having a good record at this point, I think, and I could go back 2014, 2016, maybe they were still playing catch up. I can't remember, but it felt like they were always front runners. Now that's not the case. Now you can't go into any of these games like, we got a 3-game lead. It's the NFC East. No. 6-2 Giants, 6-2 Cowboys, and the Eagles are 8-0. So, I think playing catch up, playing from behind in regards to win-loss should also add to their focus.
I agree. One thing before I bring up the Houston, I'm glad somebody brought up in the chat about that one drive we had last 2 weeks ago where it was all run plays. I would actually put that in the chat. I was watching Vach during the game, so that was a good point that they brought up. Also, a very key play in that game against the Bears when we got that fumble on our own 1-yard line. The very first play was the Tony Pollard out the backfield. He was actually held coming out of the backfield. His head wasn't even completely turned, and Dak threw the ball, and he caught it and ran for that first down. That was a key play because we were already on our own 1. And we've shown in the past that we allow pressure. Dak, they allow the pressure to get in. Dak got to throw something, hurry up, and bad things happen. So that was a key play that I don't know if anyone brought up.
I'm showing it. I'm showing it right here. That was against the Lions, but yeah, you're right. He did get held.
Yeah, against the Lions. Yeah, not the Bears, the Lions. That was so Tony actually got held coming out the backfield, and that was a key play. But I noticed something they've been doing all year round. Well, I was in Houston and I saw it live. The Eagles have been getting away with pulling their running backs. And the Kelsey brothers have a podcast, and they were actually joking about it the other day. Jason Kelsey, or the tight end Kelsey, called out his brother pulling the running back, Gatewell or whatever his name, pulled him by the helmet.
Yeah. That should have been a penalty. And if you were there, did you see everybody was snapping out like, hey, throw the flag, because they had sent an email out to the league that week that you can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
They can't do that. And they did it earlier in the season. They pulled their running back Gatewell in the end zone early in the season. They are not throwing that flag. I don't get it.
Yeah, they need to be. But with the referees, brother, I don't even I'm over it.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But, nephew, you stay strong, keep moving, and you and Vach need to find a song. I can't think of it, but it's a song about merry-go-round. Because when Martell or Marcel, whoever that is that called from Philly and want to go around that merry-go-round and come right back and say CD's the number 1 for dollars, y'all need to find a song where the theme is merry-go-round. Because that was the most hilarious thing yesterday of all year.
I'm retired from that.
CD
guy.
is the number 1 for dollars, Cowboy.
2 days. He wasted 2 days of my damn time for this.
2 days. Please find a merry-go-round song, please. But, stay strong. I love what you're doing, and I'll talk to you next week. Go Cowboys.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Not my best moment, but I tried, y'all. I really did. I was trying to have a good conversation, but the guy just with that said, let me take a hard break. But if things aren't hard for you, don't fret. More than 39 million men suffer from said situation. Boston Scientific created edcure.org to help you find your best cure. To get started, go to edcure.org, take a quiz, and learn your severity or risk of ED. If you have a condition that puts you at a higher risk, you'll find a customized content. Relax, I'm trying to. The fastest way to find your best cure is to contact ED specialists by browsing a list of experienced physicians in your area. Visit edcure.org, brought to you by Boston Scientific.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. We'll do it live.
Gotta admit, might be one of my best transitions. I'm pretty proud of that one. I live in the corny dad jokes. Living. But that one was good. I noticed that y'all was in the chat yesterday saying I turned into Pinky. And then I went back and I listened. I was like, dang, I did sound like Pinky. I can't believe how much y'all that entertained. I wasn't even trying to be. I leaned into the content a little bit, but I was genuinely frustrated with how we went back and got to the point that he was trying to make, but then he argued against him. I'm over it. I'm retired from it. He can call in there. He ain't platinum with me. Y'all know how I feel, but I'm muting myself. So if y'all see me on the show like this, that's because y'all can't hear me. That's all. All right, man. Let's get back to the horns before I turn into. Hell, you wasn't feeling the dad joke? I thought it was a good dad joke, man. I got to clip that one out. I think Boston Scientific would be happy for that one. Yeah. Let's go. Los, Nacho, and Phil to the trail. What's up, Los?
Good morning, Scott, man. Hey, good. Hey, you're getting better at those transitions. You know what I'm saying?
You like that one?
Yeah, I like that one. That one kind of made me. I like those dad jokes, man. Hey, but let me get to it. Green Bay and this Dallas defense, man. Vach, watching you said it, man. This defense is nowhere compared to what we faced with Green Bay with last time. Nothing. You remember we had Crawford trying to rush the quarterback up the middle. You know, now you have Micah, you have Sam Williams, you got Tank Man. If Green Bay hasn't had enough nightmares with their passing game, they're gonna have more of them this Sunday. And the key thing is disguise and attack, because one thing I know that Aaron Rodgers likes to attack is man-to-man.
Yeah.
But I say if we can disguise man-to-man but come out to zone, you know, I think that will make a difference. And he gets frustrated when he gets like a look that he likes, but it's not that. And then he'll go to those check downs and go to the running game. So what not, you know? So I feel like if we get him to those third and uncomfortable situations, like 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s, we're going to be solid all game. And if we allow ourselves for those big explosive plays for these wide receivers, it's because our zone coverage wasn't covering, or Diggs got beat one-on-one, or, you know, one of those mismatches that will happen. You know, it's football. They're football players for a reason. They get paid for it. But, I mean, I expect Cowboys to be up front and dominant throughout this whole game. And I expect nothing less but Michael Parsons putting on a show, man. And that's all I have to say.
They got real quick, Los, they have a solid, if Bakhtiari plays, I like their tackle combination. I think they got a solid little bookend. I do like Jenkins on the interior. Their centers been playing decent. If there was a mouse in the house, it's the right guard. But obviously every week, right, pass rush is important. It's important. But because how Aaron Rodgers can just fit it in there, you know, on tight coverage, I feel like we'll have to be, and it's crazy because they don't got good receivers all like that, but we're going to have to be a bit tighter on our coverage this week. I truly do believe we should play a little bit more press, a little bit more man, because the only person I'm worried about is Alan Lazard because he has the size. Everybody else, you're going to have to prove to me, you're going to have to beat me.
Well, the thing is, Sky, I mean, with these wide receivers, I mean, I don't know. They're coming off injuries, so who knows how healthy they are. And they have proven to have been dropping these balls. So, I mean, if they keep doing that throughout this game, you know, I'm happy. But, I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if they start catching these balls against these Cowboys, because everybody wants to play the best when, you know, they're facing the star on the helmet. And that's against any team. That's why we got to be prepared and ready.
Right.
We just catch these off against any week. And that's all I have to say.
All right, man. Good call, Los. Appreciate you.
All right. Peace.
I saw a play in that game live, not even just like watching film, just live, because sometimes it's a different feel. And I think it was Sammy Watkins. Aaron Rodgers in the red zone, a fade when Devontae Adams was there. I don't think there was better poetry in motion. Aaron Rodgers with Sammy Watkins down there. Oh, Aaron Rodgers was ready to chew his head off, man. They were not on the same page, and I think it happened twice in that game. And that's what made me tweet out, I don't know if in 1 week the Packers offense can get on the same page. The easiest way to do that is to run the ball a whole lot, play action, keep it simple. But no Dobbs, no Cobb. Watkins is just not that guy, pal. Shout out to you. 10 receptions this year. Like, how do Tunyon and Allen Lazard, Tunyon and Allen Lazard should not beat you in the air. They'll make some catches. But I mean, hey, Aaron Rodgers came out, threw for 275 and 3 touchdowns. And Tunyon and Allen Lazard were the recipients of most of that. So I truly do feel like you corral that run game. Offensively, though, we want to make sure we get up. But corral that run game, I think you can make life difficult for A-Rod. We outside, Mr. Jab. Nacho, what's up, Nacho?
Blessings, my man. Blessings. Let me comment a little bit on OBJ, and then I'll finish off with the Packer game. I'm really hoping that hearing some of our key players, our Jerry Jones, our staff, our insiders talking about it could be a bidding war for OBJ and him wanting to come to Dallas, has family there, etc. I'm really hoping we get him. I think a player like him coming in, pending whether he's going to give us, coming off that injury at 75, 80% OBJ, or eventually, if we can give him a 2 to 3 year contract with incentives based on performance and ability and availability, he can bring that type of swagger, add that type of swagger to this offense. That may be what this offense is needing, as we go into the second half and into the playoffs. So I'm really praying that they can really make this happen and Jerry can put his money where his mouth is. That's on OBJ, and I'm hoping. What do you think about that?
Well, one thing that, like I said, the cat's out the bag in regards to the Cowboys interested in receivers, and obviously it's out the bag with Cowboys interested in Odell Beckham. I will say this, and I won't go further with it until I can, but to no surprise, it'll come down to what Stephen Jones is willing to give up from a financial standpoint, and I'll just leave it at that. Because this is not it's between one or two teams. There's a lot of suitors coming after Odell Beckham, and there's a lot played into it, right? Location, team, competition, etc. But money as well. So I think if Dallas was willing to pay, they can get him, but we'll see.
And Sky, I think you make a very, very impactful point there. Steven, we can't play this game of nickeling and diming. Hey, listen, if you're gonna go get a player that you think can really stretch the field and really get you over the top, then you know what? Go get him. Hey, go get him and stop playing games. And I'm hoping that if they were on the search to add that extra, receiver in, by trading deadline and it didn't fall through, then here's your opportunity, okay? Take advantage of it. On the Packer game here coming up, Sky, I tell you what, I'm okay. My thing is go in there. You have a wounded animal, punch him in the mouth, get in there, play your football, win by more than 10 points, get out of there. You do not you do not want to give Green Bay Packers that have lost 5 in a row at home with Aaron Rodgers hanging around in the fourth quarter, because we know what our history is against the Packers. Let's make it happen for Coach McCarthy. There's emotion, there's passion going into this game, and the next 2 weeks are going to dictate our mentality, our confidence, and swagger as we get into the home stretch and into the playoffs.
100%.
That's my finish, my man.
Hey,
and you have a great weekend, and let's hope that we have a victory Monday.
Great finish, Nacho. Yes, we will. I'm confident, man. Confident. But yeah, I got you, man. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, my man. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. Have a good
Salute.
day. Bye-bye.
I was reading El Tino's comment here. It says Clarence says Zeke is expected to play. I believe he practiced in full yesterday, right? Let me. And honestly, Jerry even said it too. Like, we expect Zeke to be back. So, you know, maybe that's something we can talk about tomorrow a little bit, because Zeke missed one game this year. Good, and he got the rest and everything like that. He didn't do that last year, and we saw Ezekiel Elliott when he was dealing with something. Is he 100%? When I say 100%, I'm relative to nobody's really 100%, but if Zeke is playing through something and he don't look right, conversation's going to get real interesting after this game. I'll just leave it at that. Failed to the trail. And then we're going to finish off with the original OG. What's good, Phil?
What's up, guys? It's been a little minute.
Yeah, I saw your name pop up. I said, I ain't said this in a minute.
Yeah, and I like to sit there and listen to y'all talk. I don't really be having too much to say. But, you know, I want OBJ like everybody else, but it's like Kellen, I don't want him to go back to just throwing the ball. Like, I feel like it's something to that mentality of just running the ball, play action, playing football the right way, you know?
Yeah, the balanced approach. That is, I am 100% behind you, no matter who they acquired, whether it be Cooks or Odell. I'm with you. Stay balanced.
Right, and I feel like that's that next step with Kellen, to be able to control himself. Like, you got a whole bunch of weapons, but still be able to know what you do best, you know?
Yeah, I wonder if one last point on that. Michael Gallup hasn't, you know, he's not all the way back to Michael Gallup, and he may not be this year, but he's adequate enough, right? And then
Right.
Noah Brown's not that type of guy, so they don't really have a ton of those explosive pass catching weapons. And even if Odell comes back, he's not going to be the prime Odell. It could be, in a weird way, a blessing in disguise that you have a CD Lamb, who is your wide receiver number one, contrary to a belief. And then you got other guys who can do enough for you. I wonder if that is something that he could say, hey, man, I don't have that group I had last year, so I have to, by default, stay the course.
Sure. But one more thing about Aaron Rodgers. Man, I know you know that meme where you see where Aaron Rodgers is having had his face mask, not his face mask, his chin strap on his nose. He looking crazy as hell.
Yes,
Like
I'm about to pull that up for y'all. Yep.
Man, I need to see that for sure. Because Aaron Rodgers been wearing that old ass helmet for the longest time. That old ass chin strap. I need them to knock that bitch off his head. So, because I ain't gonna lie, I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. And the way that he playing this year, everybody can see like what he really is. You know, I'm trying to expose dude, because it's been too long. I've been hearing that bad man. You know, I'm tired of hearing it. I need Micah to take his helmet off.
That bad man, yeah, and he has been for most of his career, but not. He just been a little bit bad this year.
Shit, they already start calling Micah that bad man. I need Micah to take that away from his ass.
You know what? If the Cowboys get this dub this weekend, I have the picture up for you, Phil, to the truth. This might just be my thumbnail. Like, no words,
you need to put that
just this.
For sure. So I need to see that, because I ain't never seen nobody but him wear that old ass chin strap. I was playing football not too long ago. I'm surprised they still got him wearing that.
Man, I'm not even gonna bring up when I was playing. But yeah, that chin strap, I don't think many wear that anymore.
Yeah. And I want to see, like, I feel like Sam, I want to see him get some more snaps too. I don't know if you remember, but last year when before the draft, I remember I called and I asked you what you thought about Sam Williams, and I remember you telling me you liked him, but you thought he was raw.
Yeah.
And I know like Bots, he real big on like floor. I'm real big on ceiling. Like if I can see what you can do, especially with like Dan Quinn, I feel like he can get that out of him. I feel like if we have a hard time stopping the run, if we put Micah back at linebacker, I kind of want to see Micah and Damone Clark next to each other. I don't know if they're going to do that.
They're not going to do it this year.
I feel like Micah and Damone Clark, you put Sam at DN and kind of rotate that around. I feel like that's scary because Sam brings something that really nobody on the defense do. Like he'll give you a penalty, a play that's worth the penalty every play, but I don't care about that. Like I want people to fear our defense for real.
Yeah, Sam got
some. Somebody on their head.
He got some loose screws, and I welcome that. You know, it's that. Remember the draft? We called it the attitude. You know, the attitude era.
I'm a defensive guy. I play corner, so anybody that got an attitude, that play with that attitude, yeah, I'm all for that player for sure.
I think you'll see his snaps increase, man. Although getting Terrell Basham back, but what if they don't have to? What if they don't have to? Like he had 14. So what if he get like 15 snaps again? I'm not saying he's gonna get 2 sacks every time, but
because he fresh every time.
Yeah. Hey man, we got a lot of bodies, and not just Jags either. I think we got like legitimate guys that if they're not over exerting themselves, they can give you quality reps. So that's why I didn't want to get rid of Basham.
Another thing I feel like that's going understated is everybody saying our run game bad, but I watch the games and I know football.
Run defense?
For real, the only thing that our run game is bad is containing the quarterback. And D-Law could have had about 3 sacks.
You mean run defense, right?
Yeah, run defense. My fault. Yeah. Because D-Law, he kept going in the inside shoulder on Fields 2 weeks ago. And I was sitting there screaming at the screen because I'm like, even I know you go for the outside shoulder, you either gonna make the tackle or he gonna go into your defense. And I feel like that's the biggest thing we need to work on, containing. And I feel like we need, especially when we go up against Jalen Hurts, I need Kurtz to spot that nigga. I don't want no type of.
But here's the thing about Justin Fields is just different. Justin Fields is really gonna try to run.
Yeah, he different in Hurts.
Yeah, it was weird in that Eagles game. He wasn't running. Like, he really wasn't trying to run. He got 2 runs off of you. One of them didn't matter. It was like 3rd and 16, and he got 12, and they had to kick a field goal. And then the other one, it did get them a first down because for whatever reason, they decided to fake the blitz instead of sending it. And when they faked it, the linebackers opened the gate for Jalen Hurts, and he just stepped up and ran for a first down on 3rd and 4. So that's it, though. Other than that, it was quarterback sneak. He wasn't running on you. It was them just getting little nicks here and there. They were getting 3 and 4, and they bust off a 6-yarder. Then they get 5, and they just kept doing it over and over and over because they were up 21-0 or whatever it was. So,
Right. And I don't fear the Eagles like everybody else do. My cousin, he an Eagles fan. All my cousins Eagles fans. So I just feel like, and he told me, he was like, if Dak played that game against the Eagles, he would have been scared. And I told him we would have won that game. If we wouldn't even have been down.
Don't get me started.
Say that again?
Nah, your brother or whoever it was saying he would have been scared. Dak Prescott 7-3 against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Man, I'm telling you, it wouldn't have been no down by however many we was down.
Hell no.
And that gonna make Jalen Hurts. That was gonna put that pressure on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is gonna have to throw the ball, and I don't.
Hey, Phil, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, though. We got the Packers coming up on Sunday, Phil. Let's refocus.
I hate Eagles fans.
I hate them too, bro. I hate them too.
I hate Green Bay too, but
I hate them too. Man, we get one week at a time. 1 week at a time. We will get there. Appreciate the call, man.
That's another big thing too. That's the way. That's how we gonna go deep in the playoffs. We gotta take it 1 week at a time. Can't look too far.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna take up too much. I wanted to call in, check in with you, man. I ain't talked to you in a little minute.
Oh man, and then soon as I was just about to get to B Bird, man. But appreciate the call, Phil. Call back in, B Bird.
Right,
I'm up.
All right. B Bird probably had to go. Probably had work. I was trying to get to you, man. I want to hear what you had to say. I'll keep it open for a little bit so you can get back in here. Oh, his brother would have been scared. Oh, man, we ain't scared. Don't be scared. Scared of what? League is open this year, man. It's open. King Element said, Sky's GOAT is Sammy Ball. That's good. That is good. My bad, B Bird. I done got had B Bird on hold. My bad, OG. That's not how I'm supposed to show my respects to the original OG. What's up with you?
Hey, what's happening, Sky? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, so I wanted to say one thing. I've been hearing Cowboy fans talk about saving money to sign, Diggs and Parsons and things of that sort. I don't like hearing that. That sounds like some Stephen Josephification of our Cowboy fan base. And if you really want to think about it, why those guys on a rookie contract is when you really ought to be going after them. So right now is the time to actually go for it. It's no different than if you have a quarterback that you have to re-sign on a rookie deal. Hey, let's go and get these wins in before we pay this guy $40 or $50 million a year. That's one point. The other point is I heard another YouTuber, and they're not here to defend themselves, but they were saying, hey, OBJ has no leverage. He's coming off an injury. Leverage is just two people wanting you. That's all you need is another entity that wants to bid for you, and that's all the leverage you need.
It's true.
So he has interest from other people in the league, so it is some leverage there for him. Cowboy's not the only one in town. That's not the only one trying to get his services. So he does have leverage. So I just wanted to put that out there because I heard somebody say that, and I kind of heard on the recording, and I said, no, let me correct that because OBJ does have leverage, man. But I just wanted to just say that my main reason for the call was that, man, now is the time to go in. NFC is not as strong as it had been. They don't have any particular team that you could see running away with this thing. And, man, we're right there in the hunt, and we got to, get everything we can to get over that hump, man, right now. That's all I want to say, man. I'm going to let you go, and I'll listen offline, brother.
Thanks, B Bird. That's a good point because I don't say I fell into the leverage thing, but it is true. I mean, you just need somebody else to want you. And let's be real. When he was talking, I started thinking about leverage in the Cowboys. Hardly do they walk away from any adequate contract as a quote-unquote winner. So when you're dealing with Stephen Jones, what really is leverage, right? Like he's so steadfast in his number. And OBJ has suitors. We're not trying to sign, who's a free agent out there? Will Fuller. It seems like nobody wants Will Fuller. If you want to offer Will Fuller $6 million, he'd probably take it if he's not retired. But he's halfway retired. Odell got suitors, man. So you're right, B Bird. As long as you got another person that wants you, and it sounds like they got a handful of people that want him, he has literal leverage. But it's the time. But you know how Steven is with that pie, man.
That boy went crazy.
I know how he is, man. And he keeping that pie to himself. I get annoyed when people bring up, gotta pay Micah Parsons, you gotta pay Trayvon Diggs. What about CD Lamb? What are we talking about? They're on their rookie deals. This is their third year. This is Micah's second. Why are we talking about Micah Parsons' contract? Why? Micah Parsons can't be paid until after 2023. Don't have to do it then. So then you can go to 2024. Oh, guess what? You can exercise the fifth round or the fifth year option as well. So what are we talking about that for? Same thing with CD Lamb. What are we talking about that for? Crazy. All right, now we can lock him up, man. Now we can lock him up. I know I probably missed a bunch of super chats, so I'll try to get to those. I usually try to read them as we go, but we got into a nice little groove today. Okay. All right, just a couple of y'all. Cool. I got trying to stir me up, Toxic.
Super chat.
Toxic Tom, appreciate you for the donation. Sky, is CD really a number one wide receiver? Asking for a friend. Not going there. We're not doing this. I retire from that conversation.
Super chat.
We don't wipe them 304s. Appreciate you for the donation. He says, update. Barry Watch Tourette's guy. Still employed, waiting for the day when I go in and they say, we do not do Yo, that actually was the best part of the show until that fella ruined it. He said, wait for the day when I go in and they say, we do not do that here, and hit me with the pink slip. That was the best part of the show. Who was there yesterday when that happened? Chris, you're a great sport, man, because we had fun with that one. We do not do that here. Chris came on and said, yeah, in this place of establishment, that's not allowed. And then B Bird, appreciate you, B Bird.
Super chat.
He said, hard to stick to the run when you're behind. This is very true. And I don't have the details of how much they were behind, game script, et cetera, but we know here in Dallas last year, there were times where we're like, why are we giving up on the run? It's 7-0. So it was hilarious, King. I mean, that was one of my favorite. That was my favorite part of the damn show. And then,
What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
I don't like to stir up these emotions again. It's a fun show, though. You're sliding on thin ice. I have no idea we're going to get into. What did I say yesterday? I said you just never know what's going to happen on that show. We just never do. Please let us get a studio. Taking this thing to another level. Pat McAfee is definitely goals. Definitely inspiration. Obviously don't have the inside track as he did, but I would love to have a studio like that, man. Toxic. It just came out, man, because it just came out. But anyway, man, anything else y'all got for today? Oh, that's a good one, Swain. Emotional damage. He is now Voldemort. I'm not saying that. That name, I'm not having a conversation. I'll put myself on mute. I know the type of dude he is when it comes to these debates, and I refuse. And I like the debate, but that is different. Thoughts on Kelvin? Disappointing in his the one attempt that he had to, do something in the passing department, but not ready. I know a lot of people were like, he's done. I'm not ready to throw him off the cliff. He's still a good special teams dude. Would like to see if he can bounce back if needed. And then maybe we'll have a little bit more data on him. See, Toxic, I know nothing about the Harry Potter situation. I just know you're not supposed to say Voldemort's name. That's it. But Michelle started watching it, and I was like, well, let me try to get into it, but I haven't yet. 100% the NP. I am definitely bland over Kelvin Joseph right now, because Kelvin Joseph or Bland is looked good in his really good in his opportunities. Buddy was prepping his argument because he came in here and said, well, see, y'all had hung up on me, but anyway, I'm not going to do that. Did I miss your super chat? You must have just dropped it. You did. Let's see.
Super chat.
Marcus Hardison said complacency breeds cowardice. You had a bar yesterday and a couple days ago. I can't remember what it was. I said I wanted to write this down because I'm going to use this in life speaking, talking to my kids and younger kids and people and whatnot. You had a bar, man. I just can't remember what it was. L said you already have interns and staff in the chat watching Sky Studios. Hey, y'all think I'm playing, man. Like, if that happens and you are in the Dallas area, that means that obviously we get a different bag, a bag that will allow us to hire people for real, for real. I'd be all in. I'd be all in on that. Sean said, watch the movies and read the books. I remember in school, the books, the Harry Potter books were crazy. It's crazy. I'm a movie guy. Confession, we were supposed to read October Sky. Found out there was a movie. Supposed to read that in the summer. Read. It's ball season. Talking about football season coming up. I got the movie. Unfortunately, the test wasn't on the movie though. And that's when I learned. The movie and the books. Don't do that. That's the one, L. You're born looking like your parents, but you die looking like your decisions. Man, that's good. Don't do that to me, Michelle. All right, we in overtime. We just cooling. I think there was one more. 9 deep, Sky. Deron Bland and Damone Clark starting. I mean, it's not a question. Are you telling me, or is this a question? Damone Clark. Oh, they are actually. Deron Bland is starting. I'm considering a slot guy. Yeah, of course he's starting. So because he's a slot and Jordan Lewis is in here. Damone Clark though may start this week. Anthony Barr was out of practice today, so we'll keep a eye on that. And I said this last week, man. If you give Damone Clark a shot, Barr might not be getting that spot back, and I don't think he should because he is your future. Barr was never really the over the top guy. He was adding some depth to that room anyway. So I say start him. All right, we up out of here. If everything goes well, I will be back on the volume 306. Nah, it's different over there, man. Somebody I forget. Somebody said I'm Bob Saget on Full House here, but then I'm real Bob Saget on the volume. Definitely PG-13 here. I ain't got nothing else to say to y'all. Do me a favor, man. Hit this like button if you enjoy the show. If you are fairly new, you've been sticking around catching a few and you're not sure if you want to subscribe, you can look at some more of the videos and the content. If you're ready to subscribe, hit that button because you can't comment. You can't be a part of this fantastic chat if you are not a subscriber. You can't be a platinum subscriber. Don't be plastic. Don't be copper. Somebody else is already that. All right. Definitely was a Bill O'Reilly moment, and I humbly apologize for that. I will be better, Cowboys Nation. I promise you. A to Z Sports Dallas.com. Make sure y'all check that out. Our guy Mauricio Rodriguez does fantastic work over there. Matt does fantastic work. Shane. We got a ton of good writers over there. You can see it scrolling over here, as well as my Twitter in the DFW Turf Ticker. DFW Turf Ticker, the #1 artificial turf in the DFW area. Black Panther tomorrow. No Wisconsin. Wakanda forever. Y'all know I'm going to talk about it on Monday, so we'll give our review here on the show on Monday. I'll usually go on the nights that it come out, which is today. I usually would do that. But because of my schedule now, as opposed to before, I wait till the Friday. So I'll be tomorrow. If you're going tonight, hit me up on Twitter, Ask Skywalker Still. Tell me how it was. Don't tell me what happens. Just say if it was dope, whatever, right? I would love to engage in MCU talk. So do that. And I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. For those who don't watch the volume show, if you're a child, don't watch that show. But if you're not, come through later. Me and Vach will hold it down for y'all. We out of here, y'all. I'm off the Vibranium pack all weekend. I might go see it twice. Ooh, Friday theme show tomorrow? I think so. Hit me up with some ideas. I you know me, I'll make it happen. Feel Good Friday tomorrow. We out. Love y'all. Peace.
Bomb Squad!